Sometimes it's better if I don't get my, I have a board. Thanks. Well, I have been a boss, or, you know, I've been a company person. This is a company. I have a company, right? My company is Anshara'El, and it's the pathway of ascension. And what I do there is education, and helping you remember who and what you are and how you're meant to live. So things like being in harmony with nature, or being in harmony with the celestial bodies. You are higher on me? I don't know what that means. So what I've been teaching lately is, unfortunately, not at this time. I'm not hiring currently. Yeah. I also have a nonprofit. My nonprofit is called Hugs for Homeless. And what we do is we gather donations, and with those donations, we put together backpacks filled with essentials, and we distribute those essentials into the community, where people are unhoused. And I'm sorry, I get really, it's my passion. I'm super excited about it. And I actually have a big announcement to make in the area of hugs, because we actually had a amazing thing happen on Friday. I managed to get a collaboration with a couple of things. And so I'm very excited to announce that we have a global announcement about our transformative collaboration that we have. So Hugs for Homeless is overjoyed to announce a powerful new collaboration with 3 purpose-driven organizations who each bring heart, vision, and global reach to our mission. Together, we are expanding our ability to serve with greater scale, sustainability, and soul. So the first group is Bargains Groups, and this is one of the largest wholesaler bulk suppliers in North America. Bargains Group is now our official sourcing partner. This is going to help us access deeply discounted essential items in bulk, from hygiene kits to warm clothing and more. Their expansive network ensures that we can fill every backpack and care bundle with high quality, cost-effective support. We also partnering with Kits for a Cause, and this is a registered charity and social enterprise that is unlocking a whole new dimension for hugs, and that is corporate team building and group volunteering. So through Kits for a Cause, workplaces and communities can now organize packing events that directly supply our outreach programs, blending service with unity. What are you talking about? We are overwhelmed with hugs. So put your hugs in a paper bag or plastic. What's hugs to you? I'm just curious. Hi, Poke Me. Hi, Xandrian. I don't know if you stuck around, but hello. Sorry, I was just waiting and seeing if Bushwhacker was going to respond to the question that I asked. So through Kits for a Cause, communities and workplace can now organize packing events that directly supply our outreach programs, blending service with unity, which is a really exciting opportunity for hugs. Very exciting. Also engage and change. So through our collaboration with Bargains Group, we are also connected to Engage and Change, which is a charitable partner that mobilizes thousands of volunteers each year to assemble survival kits for those in need, which is very aligned with what Hugs for Homeless is, right? We're putting together backpacks filled with essential needs for those who are unhoused. And this is what they do once a year. They have Project Winter Survival, which provides over 45,000 kits through 200 plus frontline agencies. So they used to have another project called Project Water, but they have this massive legacy of service and community care. So we're proud to partner with them in continuing that mission. So our collaborations don't just serve Canada, they also have an international presence, including the US and across the globe. So this opens the door for Hugs for Homeless to expand beyond borders and explore partnerships with schools, nonprofits, and businesses worldwide. So our movement just went global. Like, that's big news for us. It's huge. So all of this matters because now with these aligned partnerships, we reduce the cost and increase impact. So every dollar that you donate to Hugs for Homeless is going to go further because now we have this wholesale partner. We invite the corporate and community world into hands-on service. So you get to participate in it because let's say your organization wants to do volunteering or outreach, and they decide they're going to do these kits for a cause, and they choose Hugs for Homeless. Then what your corporation does is they determine how much their budget is for this volunteering activity, and that's how much they donate to receive the supplies to put the kits together. And then the employees and you all get together and you put the kits together, and that's where you get to do team building along with giving and generosity and impacting the environment. With Hugs for Homeless, if we are giving a backpack or we're giving hygiene, those types of kits, they are definitely changing a life. If we start to include sleeping bags, we actually have the potential to save a life. And it's just because that's how much a sleeping bag can impact somebody that's on the streets. So anyway, we're really, really excited about that. We are also building a sustainable, scalable model for long-term care, long-term change. Sorry, a nurse for so long, long-term care had to come out after long-term. It was just, that makes sense. A lot of sense. Sorry, long-term change. And we stay rooted in our truth, and that is that a hug can change a life and a community. So we're very, very excited about these collaborations that we have now. And to be able to say that your donations are going to be able to go further, that's such a wonderful thing. Very, very excited about it. Yay. Oh, I think it's absolutely horrendous for what is going on with the MAID program in Canada. I mean, you might think that that's appropriate, that we just called anyone that's 65 and older, that we just kill them. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're saying. Hello, say hi. Where are you from? What site are you on that you're catching me on? Are you on YouTube or Facebook? Well, I mean, the current way that the system is not functional for the bulk of society, right? Which is why we need change. And we can only do that by creating it ourselves. So what we're here to do is create how the world is supposed to be. There are people out there that are creating things that are quite different, that are outside of the way that the Matrix does things, I guess would be a way to put it. There's lots of innovative things that are going on out there. For sure. Okay, so we're going to talk about our celestial alignment with true sidereal. I just wanted to talk about the exciting partnerships at Hugs. I did get my one book put in on time, and that was Tiana and the Phoenix Who Refuses to Burn. So that one will be released on the 21st of December. And I'm working on completing my other one that's supposed to be published on the same day. I have some formatting stuff to complete on that. So cross your fingers that I meet my deadline, but I'm usually pretty good at doing that. And if not, I'm also good at giving myself grace and just realizing, you know, it just wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. That's okay. It's publishing exactly when it's supposed to. So we have our wonderful celestial alignments. And of course, I'm talking about true sidereal. There are different ways that people view astrology, or different theories around astrology. The tropical is one that's based on the concept of the sky being frozen 2,000 years ago, so that on every March 20th, it marks Aries season, which is the beginning of the zodiac wheel. And hello, Jazzpree. I'm good. How are you? How are you? I hope that you're well. I'm doing quite fantastic. Sending so much love to you, hon. So the tropical or seasonal or mainstream zodiac or astrology. Hello, my love. I hope you're feeling well. It follows that the sky was frozen 2,000 years ago, and every March 20th marks Aries season, and every month after changes to another zodiac sign. So every zodiac sign is approximately identical in size. And what else does it do? Oh yeah, I got rid of the 13th sign. So that's traditional. Hi, baby. How you doing? And hi, Riley. Nice to see you. So and please do like the live. The likes help. It's part of TikTok's algorithm, not mine, but you can help me by doing that. And same thing here, liking the live, commenting, all of that stuff helps me. And if you're watching me and learning or getting anything, then, you know, at least do that little like or something. All right. So, tropical took out the 13th sign. So you have other ways. There's Vedic, there's sidereal, and then there's true sidereal. And true sidereal looks at the actual living sky. So what is the sky doing right now? Plus it incorporates the 13th sign. And I also do what I call is Krystic astrology. And what Krystic astrology is that it's taking the distortions out of mainstream astrology. So things like calling Virgo critical or perfectionist, when Virgo really is about refinement, which is very different. And they're also about devotion, and that devotion can be to discipline. But discipline is in fact devotion to your highest timeline or your highest frequency. Which is one of our favorite sayings on here. Okay, so I go by what is the sky saying. I think that makes the most sense. It's like, why would I go by something that like the sky from 2,000 years ago? When you first look at your information, the change from mainstream astrology and what you would be underneath the current system. For me, I was a super Sagittarius. So I was a major fire sign, and I also had a Virgo moon. So, you know, in that sense, with mainstream astrology, I learned to take that my emotions were maybe a bit critical. And when you think that that's what what you're supposed to be like, then you become that. You actually, you adopt the label, which is why labels are dangerous, right? We have to go back to removing them and really, or really understanding what it means when you do take it on. So choosing wisely, right? Choose your labels wisely. So when you take away the negative connotations and the bad aspects of each of the zodiac signs or even the planets, then you get to the truth. And that's what I call Krystic astrology, because it's the truth beyond dogma, religion, all of that. It's just the truth. So I need to take a sip. Okay, it was a couple sips because it's like really yummy warm right now. Oh my gosh, that's so yummy. When you first look at your signs and you convert them, you'll shift about one sign in every one of your placements, sometimes a little bit more. Because the other thing that True Sidereal does is it actually looks at the actual size of the placements, and not all the placements are the same size. So the sun and the moon and all the other planets take different times to transition through certain placements. I have my notes written down somewhere where it says how long it takes a couple of these planets to transition through the signs. If I can find it, maybe. But let's just say Mercury, for instance. I think it's anywhere from 12 or 18 is the first number, and the last number is 45 or 75. Because I'm mixed Virgo and Mercury, I get their numbers because they're both those two numbers. So that's how long, and that's because one planet, the constellation, and how long it would take Mercury to travel through that constellation is, say, 18 days. But there are some constellations that are so big that it takes 45 days. And so this actually captures that within it. So you can go to Mastering the Zodiac and check out what your actual placements, your natal chart would be. And that would be looking at what was this guy actually doing the day, the time, whatever that you were born. Now, if you don't know your time, that's okay. When we think about most of the planets, like the sun transits once every 30 days. I mean, there are some shorter months for sure, or shorter transitions, just like I was saying a moment ago. There are shorter transitions. But the sun is transiting through each of those signs, and there's 13 of them, and it does that in a year. So, you know, that's something to consider. The moon is transiting that every 2.5 to 3 days because it depends on the sign as well. That's the one that's moving quickly, besides the rising sign. The rest of them are spread out even further and further until you get ones that, you know, they're in signs for years. Like it takes them years to transit through the constellations. So I'm racking my brain for all of my information. Hi, Craig. How are you? So it's considering all of this. And to me, the truth matters. The truth matters. And I would rather know what the sky was actually saying at the moment that I was born for real, because it was actually looking at what the sky was actually doing at the time of my birth. Your rising sign is the one that you really have a hard time with, because the rising changes every 2 hours approximately. It's a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the constellation again. But it's approximately every 2 hours transiting through the signs. And that is great. That just means that you have to check them all if you don't know the time, right? Because how would you know? And that just, you know, it can help to have other people help you to identify, well, what do I seem like? But I go through these signs, so I'm giving everybody a little bit of lessons. In March of 2026, I'm going to be teaching Krystic astrology. So I'm going to teach you all about True Sidereal and all about the placements and all about how to read your chart and all about all of that stuff. It's quite a long, extensive, like 6-week course. Um, so if this type of stuff fascinates you and you're interested in that, stay tuned for that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about the celestial alignment, because we're meant to live in harmony with Mother Nature, like with Mother Gaia, with the celestial beings, right? We're meant to do that. And if you start to utilize true sidereal, which is the living sky, then you can start to work with it in truth and not in some arbitrary thing that was paused 2,000 years ago. To me, that feels very misaligned. And now that, you know, I'm educated in true sidereal, I can't align with tropical anymore, because I find it hard to say, I'm going to do a ritual for a new moon. What are we coming up to for this new moon that's coming right now? We're getting a new moon in Sagittarius, but and this is the time when it actually shares the same new moon. It's just that in traditional astrology, the new moon is late stage Sagittarius, whereas for tropical, it's very early stage Sagittarius. But it'll change when we get, you know, in the different months. Same thing with the full moon, because it's just not, the sun's not even in Sagittarius yet. It doesn't go into Sagittarius until December 17th at almost midnight, 23:56 p.m. for me anyway. It'd be a different time for you depending on your time zone. All right, so let's look at what the celestial alignments are doing and look at how to work with the sky so that we can get into that harmony with the celestial bodies and the zodiac placements and the energy that you incarnated with. So today is December 15th. It's Monday. The sun is in Ophiuchus. The moon is in Virgo. Mercury is in Libra until later. Hang on a second. I need to check my sky. I think I wrote my note down different. It's possible. We do that sometimes, right? Get things backwards. That's the perfect thing about looking at the sky. Alrighty, we want to go to all the objects, all the major bodies. So I think it's the moon that switches into Libra. Mercury is in Scorpio. Okay, so I have to read through that a little differently. The moon is in Virgo until 4:24 p.m. Mountain Time, but that's obviously, it would be whatever your time frame is. And I just got to correct my notes, because if I keep staring at it in reverse, it's going to bother me. So just give me 1 second. Six. 24 MST, that's when that changes, and that's just Scorpio. All right, that's better. Now I won't be staring at it confusing myself, because then when I go to read on Virgo and yeah. Anyway, all right. That had me messed up something. I'm like, wait a second, what? That doesn't make sense. Because it was in Libra and it just moved into Scorpio. And I'm like, what? Why did I write down that it was going back into Libra? Like, it doesn't go in that direction. Oh my gosh, guys. All right, so we're in the Virgo moon, and remember, we've been taught through traditional astrology that Virgo is like this critical perfectionist energy, but what we've been trying to learn or remember is that Virgo is about energetic refinement, it's about discernment, and it's about that inner devotion. And when we were looking at the moon in Leo, we talked about how that was that inner radiance. That was your, you're refining yourself, because, that's all about your inner radiance shining and being authentic. And, that's that Leo energy. Then Virgo takes it a step further and it says, how do I refine the things in my environment to support the image that Leo has for us, this embodiment of who I am, and also what I want to do in my in my mission and my pathway. It's looking beyond just the self. So it's really looking at your environment, your habits, your routines, and things like that, and it wants to refine them so it's more in alignment with who you are at this time. So we've also got that Ophiuchus sun, and the Ophiuchus sun is the resurrection energy. This is really clearing all of the stuff that was brought up by Scorpio that we want to clear and get out of the way, so that when Sagittarius dawns, couple days, guys, that arrow is pointing it in the direction of your truth, and it's ready to fire it in the right direction. So we're refining things right now, and that's important. We need to be in that path for precision, right? And so this is that opportunity for us to refine and realign our internal systems and our environments. So Virgo Moon also brings that purification to the emotional body. So you may feel the call to clear clutter from the mind, or to return to simplicity, and to also embody the highest form of integrity, right? That's the part of Virgo, they have that integrity. They stand on the root. They have that devotion, right? That consistency. And that takes integrity to uphold those things. So that's another aspect of that Virgo energy. So the integrity is in the thought, the word, and the action. It's not just one aspect. So Mercury will be is in Scorpio, which when it's in Scorpio, it is asking us for to go deep, to be very, very truthful, right? It's sussing out what's not aligned, what's not truthful, and it is clearing it, and it is speaking with truth. So this is a time when we're going to be clearing relationships to a degree, but that's because our communication is going to be very deep. They're going to be very, very deep and honest, right? Scorpio energy. So we've also got Mars in Sagittarius, which is energizing that sense of our divine mission, right? Because like I said, that Sagittarius energy is pointing the arrow's truth, like at the truth, and firing it. So that's your forward momentum is Mars, and Mars is on point, is really what that energy is saying. So Sagittarius fuels momentum through sacred truth. It's propelling you forward, not in chaos, but in clarity. You're like, yeah, I know exactly where I'm headed. The arrow is firing true. And that's how Mars is acting. It's acting as that arrow that when it's pulled back in stillness and alignment, you can launch it in that perfect trajectory. Hello, love. I love your new name. So sweet. Nod to your cat, Asher. Cass is napping. He's having a good nap. So you have the ability to launch it in the perfect trajectory to, directly on point for your mission. You just have to be truthful, honest about what the future you want to direct yourself into. All right, still not at the hot temperature because, like I said, I forgot to turn it on. So we've got our Krystic Daily Triad. This is one of the ways that we can work with it. And this is our embodied alignment. And this is because it is the compass for presence, power, and purity. And this is how we walk through truth each day, by tuning into the triad of the sun, the moon, and the ascendant, which is your rising sign. Now, we're not applying necessarily our rising sign and the moon and sun signs, right? Like the different signs that the sun and moon are in, and looking at that triad, although you can. But what we're doing is at different points throughout the day, maybe you have something that you want to schedule on that day, and you want to do it at a time when your rising is going to be empowered through, a specific sign, a specific energy, right? You're going to want to harness the energy of a specific moment. So you can kind of strategically plan your days around that, how that triad of the sun, the moon, and the rising work together. So the triad is your anchor, your mirror, and your gate. So you begin the day with the awareness of the sun and the moon and the rising, right? What sign is on the horizon at the moment that the sun rises, right? That's what we're looking at. So we teach that you're supposed to, or what you're supposed to be doing is begin to look at each day with that awareness, tracking that, and then track how the moon shifts affect your emotions, so that you can learn to adjust your actions based on your own personal alignment. And it's just a way for you to learn yourself more. So you're working with yourself instead of against yourself, right? If I have to have a meeting with somebody, then why wouldn't I do that on a time when I'm going to be in my most empowered energy? Why would I do it in a time when, I'm going to be more emotional than usual because of the effects of the moon on my moon and my placement? Why would I do that, right? So there's other things that you can look at. You can look at the psychological triad, which is the moon, Mercury, and Venus. And this is useful for understanding your internal landscape. The moon is your emotional landscape. Mercury is your communication and thoughts. And Venus is your relationships and your attraction. So you can use this to understand that internal landscape. And it's especially powerful when you're journaling with it and to use it for integration. And then you have your cognitive triad, which could be looking at the sun, the moon, and Mercury. And this is looking at the perception and identity. It reveals how you see, feel, and speak from your inner reality. And we talk about these three in Krystic astrology, but it's the daily triad that we actually use to work through things. So we're going to do a little tiny thing, because you know me, I always make you do practical stuff. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So Virgo is going to ask us to do some things today. And this is a day, because of Virgo, that you want to it invites you into the sacred temple within. And under this influence, it's a great time for you to create space to cleanse your home, your altar, your body, to refine things like your visions and your tasks for the week. And you should dedicate a little part of your day to one act of pure service. Because remember, Virgo also governs sacred service. So pick one of those. If it's not sacred service, then refine your vision. Or if it's not that, then cleanse your home or your body or even just your altar, right? Pick one of those tasks. Let Virgo kind of help you to restore order to somewhere where there was overwhelm. Because that's what ends up happening when we have clutter and we push it off, is it's something that just weighs on us. It's just energy that we're carrying around that we can fix just by doing the task that's being asked to be done. So let Virgo return you to the beauty of simplicity, because it doesn't have to be complicated. All right, so we've got our Ophiuchus in the sun, and it's in the 13th sign, which is what Ophiuchus is, and this is the serpent bearer. This is the time of the sacred healer. This is the truth walker, the one who transcends polarity. Ophiuchus does not avoid the shadows, it transmutes them. This is resurrection energy, right? We want to clear it. We don't want to be carrying it around, right? Your issues carry your tissue. No, your tissues carry your issues. I was saying it right the first time, but then I went and switched it. Anyway, your tissues carry your issues. Hello, Carol. How are you? And thank you. Right? So we want to be clearing it, and we can only clear it when we're willing to look at it, pull it to the light, release the energy, like the emotions, and realize the truth of it, right? And sometimes the truth of it is that there are just people who had no business being parents. Yep. So your body's keeping the score, and it's actually giving you a lot of information. Sometimes even the injuries that we have, we injure ourselves in a specific spot so that we can look at something that we should have been looking at energetically long before, or that we should have been being honest with ourselves about before. So pay attention to the signs that you're getting from your body. Pay attention to any of the injuries or any of the illnesses, right? If you have a cold, then there's something toxic in your environment. Is your workplace toxic? Is your home toxic? Is your relationship toxic? Do you have a friend that's toxic? Is your mindset toxic? Are you ingesting toxins? Which one is it? Right? Because that's why you're sick, because you've got toxins somewhere. And you just have to determine where. All right, so the solar light today activates the remembrance that you are a carrier of divine codes, a walker of the middle path, and a transmuter of poison into medicine, right? Use this solar current to activate your highest self and dissolve illusions. You were holding too much. Absolutely. So Shauna Lee. Thank you. So Shauna Lee, she needs to put it down. The responsibility, all of it. Say, no, it's you can do that. Thank you. It's all you have to say. You can do that. Thank you. Don't raise your voice, nothing. Just you can do that. Thank you. Right? So as we walk through the veil of the Virgo moon hours, let today be an offering of clarity, intention, and sacred rebellion. Do not rush. Do not overextend. Return to truth. Let this be the week of pure devotion. Ask yourself good questions. Good questions to ask yourself. These are good ones. What am I still holding that is not mine? Where can I simplify? And how can I embody devotion today? So how can you be devoted to your highest frequency, right? So we walk with you, we walk as you, we walk as one, right? We are unity, right? Souls, like my feet. Not that kind of soul. Not that kind of soul. No, that's okay. Thank you. I don't show my body parts, even my feet. Even my feet online. No, thank you. Which I probably have somewhere, because I've done grounding videos before, so I probably have, but not for any purpose other than grounding. For the purpose in which they're intended. Oh, I don't really celebrate Christmas anymore, but Charlie Brown, Christmas maybe. I don't know. Rudolph maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to think about it. I own a couple of them. Like I own White Christmas with Bing Crosby, and I own It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, so we are stepping into this week with a beautifully grounding blend of energy between the 12-12 portal that was was on Friday, right? So then we went and we had the third quarter moon, so the 12-12 portal opened a field of clarity and alignment. The third quarter moon in Leo burned away what was false. And now we have the moon in Virgo, which helps us anchor what is true. What, Miracle on 54th Street? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think that's what it's called, 54th Street. Unless you're asking me if that's what something else is called, and then you'll have to clarify. So the 12-12 portal opened that field of clarity and alignment. The third quarter moon in Leo burned away what was false. And the new moon in Virgo is now helping us to anchor what is true. And so today is not about intensity, it's about integration. I can't see anything or else. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it's Miracle on 54th Street. All right. So today we've got the sun in Ophiuchus, the moon in Virgo, which is transiting into Libra around 4:24 my time, which is mountain. Mercury is in Scorpio, Venus is in Ophiuchus, Mars is in Sagittarius, Saturn is in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus, Neptune is in Pisces, and Pluto is in Capricorn. Sorry, I have to. Not horse. I don't. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Sorry, I have to. I did the same on both of my notes. Yeah, I didn't change that. I know what I did wrong. Figured it out. Taurus is a pain in Uranus. It is, right? I like that. That's a good one. It's a good one. All right. I had to adjust my notes because again, I don't know why I put that Mercury was transiting. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. But anyway, we've got the sun in Ophiuchus. We've got the moon in Virgo shifting into Libra at 1624 Mountain Time. We have Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Ophiuchus, Mars in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Gemini, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, and Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn. I got them. We went through all of that stuff's still the same. The 12-12 portal, all of that. We're good. We're clear. So the sun in Ophiuchus continues to illuminate the truth, and not the conceptual truth, but in the embodied truth. Because remember how those planets transition? We go through that. We're right now experiencing it with the moon, where we went from Leo in that radiant, authentic, this is me energy, where you're refining self, to Virgo, where it's refining environment, to Libra, that is harmonizing relationships, to Scorpio, who digs deeper to reveal truths and peel back another layer. To then Ophiuchus energy, which is a resurrection energy. So it takes what Scorpio has revealed and it is born anew out of it, that phoenix rising. And it passes to Sagittarius, that truth of you and your mission, and it's on point. So then Sagittarius can fire it with truth into the right direction, where Capricorn then takes it and makes a legacy of it, where then Aquarius grabs a hold of it and innovates it for the next generations, right? So there's this whole transition that's happening with the energy of the planets, and that's why they're in the order that they're in, right, is for this energy to have. So right now we have the energy in that Ophiuchus, which is continuing to illuminate the truth. And this is the embodied truth. So it's asking, what is real for you? What no longer fits in your life? And what is rising in you that you cannot deny? And it could be anything. Maybe you're just like, you're really getting disenchanted with your job, and you're realizing like you've had this dream within you for so long, and it's time to start doing that. Maybe you've been lax with your health for so long, like you've been eating garbage and you know it's garbage, but you continue to eat it anyway, and it's out of alignment with you. And now you're just going to pull that into alignment and say, enough's enough. I don't want to eat the garbage anymore. And sometimes when we're not listening to ourselves and not moving ourselves into alignment, something happens to push us into alignment. Something like getting sick from eating a food that you normally loved, but you knew was unhealthy, like what that you used to eat that you knew was unhealthy for you, that all of a sudden you get really sick and you can't even tolerate the looking at it anymore, right? Or something could happen that's even more significant. But those things that come up, they're asking you to look at the patterns. They're asking you to look at what doesn't align with you anymore and remove it, because this is the season that pulls you back into alignment with your oversoul. It's like, come on, let's go. It's time. Now you pair that Ophiuchus sun energy with Virgo moon energy, and you've got this clarity and refinement through the morning, because as I said, in the afternoon, we're going into Libra. But Virgo brings that grounded awareness, and it helps you to integrate everything that you have been receiving since those 1212 codes came in through the portal. So Virgo energy today is now supporting that clarity, the practical steps, the simplification, the inner order, the embodiment, the alignment. What is our favorite saying? Discipline is devotion to your highest frequency, right? And it is. So if you stop looking at discipline as a negative thing and started looking at it as devotion, then you will do the things that are necessary to align you to your highest frequency. And that's what we want. We want to be in alignment and then in embodiment of that alignment. So this morning is perfect for organizing your thoughts, your energy, your schedule, your boundaries. Give everybody a look for a minute. Your boundaries. Virgo asks you to live the truth that you felt last week. So last week some stuff was coming up, right? And you either listen to it now or you'll see it again. It'll come back around at some point. But later on today, like I said, the moon is going to move into Libra. And when it shifts, changes the tone. The emotional tone of the day changes. Because like I said, Virgo is about the self and the environment for the self, Whereas Libra expands awareness into the relationship and the external balances in your life. It wants to find harmony and balance. That's what Libra governs, divine harmony. So you may notice that you have this sudden desire for harmony. You have this need for fair exchange. You have a pull towards beauty and calm. You may have a clearer understanding of a relational truth. You may reassess what feels balanced. You might have a new understanding of something that's out of alignment, because you're looking to restore that harmony. And in order to restore the harmony, you have to understand where it's not in harmony. So this evening will bring emotional neutrality and restored peace, which is good. It's good energy. Always looking for that harmony, right? That balance. So then we've got Mercury in Scorpio, and this is the depth frequency. So this is one of the strongest influences today, and we're going to be in Scorpio for a little while. I'll check later today or tomorrow at some point to see when Scorpio transits, when Mercury will transit into Ophiuchus, but it just transited into Scorpio on the 13th. So this is when we have Mercury, so that's the thoughts, communication realm, technology as well. But when we have Mercury in Scorpio, this reveals what has been unspoken. Because remember, Scorpio digs into the depths and pulls all the lies up and, revealing the truth. So this also deepens your intuition, it sharpens your emotional intelligence, and it leads you towards the truth that is beneath the surface. So you can expect that you're going to have clearer boundaries, more honest communication, deeper insight, and a stronger connection to your inner knowing. All of this is going to also be packed with less tolerance for superficiality. It's just no. You want real, because that's what Scorpio is getting to, is to the truth, right? So this is a time for real conversations, real awareness, and real alignment. It's what we came here to do, guys. We came here to be in alignment. We came here to embody. We probably had a plan for ourselves, and we're supposed to be doing it. So what are you waiting for? All right, so we have Venus in Ophiuchus. This is continuing to refine the heart. This brings truth to relationships, to your self-worth, to your desire, your boundaries, and your value systems. You may find yourself saying, I am done with what drains me. I want what matches my frequency. I desire deeper alignment. I am ready to receive truth, not scarcity. This is heart level refinement, okay? And it's powerful energy. So you may find yourself stepping into your feminine energy because it's pulling the truth, right? That Ophiuchus energy is aligning us with our truth before we go forward motion with Sagittarius energy, with our desires. So we're getting real with that. And that's also allowing us to step into that being very honest with ourselves, that receiving energy, because it's a huge portion of how we manifest or how we generate wealth is because of our ability to receive. But many of us are more blocked in the receiving than we are in the giving. We give and give and give and give and give some more, but we don't receive very well. I don't know, there's a couple of people that have broke their wrists recently, something about ability to receive or receiving help, or that's something along those lines. We have Mars in Sagittarius, which is action rooted in purpose, right? So Mars in Sagittarius is saying we're going there. We have the fuel now to move forward in the direction of our goals. It's not impulsive, it's visionary. It's I know what I want my future to be, and I'm going to take steps in that direction now. It's purpose, direction, momentum, clarity of intention, and expansion of your vision. It's big energy. So you may feel inspired to plan, to create, or to initiate something new. It's fire energy. And yes, we do, Carol. We have to step out of our comfort zones. The ego keeps us in the comfort zone, and we think it's keeping us safe. And that's what the ego thinks. It thinks it's keeping us safe. But the ego plans everything looking at the past. It's driving you down the road, looking through the rear view mirror or looking through the back window. Like it's driving, looking at what you just drove past, not look at what you're coming into. So it's just expecting the same of the same of the same. So it wants to do something that's going to protect you from that same outcome. So it was embarrassing when you spoke out loud before. So I don't want you to speak out loud again because I don't want to be embarrassed again. So we're never doing that again. Somebody laughed at us, somebody, you know, whatever it is. Yeah. So the energy today, it's going to feel in your body like clear energy. It's very steady and grounded and focused. I've been very productive today, especially with like all the different things I have going on. It's emotionally balanced. It is truth anchored, and it is ready for you to be taking those steps forward. And it's going to be gentle in the beginning and, you know, may pick up speed as it goes, right? As we get other placements changing into different signs. So this is a recalibration day, not an upheaval day. So what is your Oversoul embodiment today? Because the Oversoul is speaking to you through clarity. And this may feel like a quiet knowing inside of you. Not a push or a pull. Sorry, not a push, but a pull. Not a push, but a pull. A pull towards alignment. No, I'm saying a pull towards alignment, a pull towards truth, a pull towards harmony, right? As Virgo integrates, Libra balances, and Scorpio reveals, this is a perfect combination for Oversoul embodiment. All right, so we're going to do a practice because you know me, I make you do a practice every live. It wouldn't be fun if we didn't do one. So we're going to place one hand on our heart and one on our solar plexus, which is just below your chest, above your rib cage, right? It's a bit above your umbilical. Sorry, a bit above your umbilical, not above your rib cage. I apologize. It's below your rib cage, above your umbilical. All right, so we're going to do this little practice. Close your eyes. If you're safe to do so, by the way. Never do this if you're not safe to do so. Close your eyes. And we're just going to slow and deepen our breath. And we're going to connect to the space that comes up as we do that. So take a nice inhale in through your nose. And then out through your mouth, nice and slow. Allowing yourself to fall into the space that comes up when you do that. We're going to take another breath exactly like that, nice and deep into our tummy. Out nice and slow. Sinking further into the space that comes up. One final breath, nice and deep like that. And out. Stay in that beautiful space that you've reached. And you're going to ask yourself, what is the next aligned step for you today? Just let the first answer rise to meet you. And remember, when it's your Oversoul or higher self speaking, it's going to be direct, it's going to be clear, it's going to be grounded. It may feel open or expansive, but it's not going to feel contracting or fearful or nerve-wracking. Now breathe again. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, I choose alignment. Inhale again. I choose truth. Exhale. One more. Inhale. I choose harmony. Exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to this minute. So today is the bridge. Virgo helps you to integrate your truth, while Libra helps you harmonize your field. Scorpio is deepening your mind, and Ophiuchus is continuing to illuminate your path. Move gently, align consciously, and let your truth guide your next step. It's time to not be doing things from a lack of awareness, right? We're meant to be living with awareness, with consciousness, like consciously aware of what we're doing, not being asleep at the wheel. And many times we find ourselves in these just really predictive programming, or continuous movement, continuous cycles, where you don't even need to focus, right? I know there's many times throughout our lives that other people would agree, where they've been driving along and you're like, how did I get here? Because you just drove for the last little bit, not being consciously aware of what you were actually doing. Like you weren't in the seat behind the wheel. We're not meant to be living like that. We're meant to be present, to be aware, and to be living with intention, like consciously. And we made the decision to incarnate in this lifetime for a reason. And your reason is your reason, and that's up for you to remember. But you get subtle clues all the way along, right? The things that interest you, that you have a passion about, that light you up, that you love, that you can talk about on and on and on and on and on, or the vision that you have repeatedly. Those are the things that are aligned with you. What the secret, the mission, or the dream, the vision that you've been carrying for a long time. That's you know what it is, and it's meant to be lived, right? We, as light workers or the chosen ones, whatever you identify as, and maybe you just identify as somebody who sees the world as it is and recognizes that that's not how we're meant to live. This is not how we're meant to function. We're not to be in a world where people are starving while other people have so much wealth. They will never, in how many lifetimes, ever spend it if they never made another dime right now. This is not the way that we're meant to live. We're not meant to live in an environment where there are people that have multiple homes while other people are freezing on the streets. We're not, if you're somebody that identifies even like that, then, you probably feel like there's some mission or some purpose that you have of why you're here, that you're meant to change these systems, or, you're at least awakening to the stuff that's going on. Right? Think about how, and this is news. So whether it's Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or any of the sign, this is news, but we can say for entertainment purposes, it doesn't matter. But COVID is putting a black box warning on the vaccine. Do you know what a black box warning is? Anyone? I'm going to have a sip of tea, give you an opportunity to put an answer down if you know what a black box warning is on a medication or on a vaccine. Yeah, I can feel that settling into some people, right? So we were coerced, manipulated, blackmailed, shamed, guilted, forced, ridiculed, on and on and on and on and on, to take something that's deadly. Of course, I mean that's what a black. I'm. Let's see. Can we check and see what they tell us on a black box warning? What the news is saying? Because then I'm really just saying the news. So as of today, has stated no. That's as of today. They're not putting it in place yet. So it's because of the children that died. It's the highest warning that can be applied. This is from Scientific America, a journal. The FDA is considering the addition of high-level warning labels to COVID vaccines, a move that some experts say may cause unfounded concerns over safety. But they're moving to do that because of the number of deaths that have occurred because of receiving the vaccine. So how many knew? How many felt something in their body? How many of us just knew? Did you listen to yourself? Because many of us did, and some of us broke after the immense amount of pressure that we received from governments, from jobs, from families, because of the restrictions. Canada was really, really, really stringent. Like we went full lockdown. Like it was bad. That's the truth. We did. It's Mhm. Right. I mean, they do say that the likelihood that you haven't received it by proximity alone from people shedding, um, but that's not the thing that those who fought not to receive it and stayed strong in what they believed in and didn't receive it. Those individuals, what they showed is that they had discernment at the time. They trusted their discernment, and it didn't matter what anyone said. They did not allow anyone to manipulate them. Right? That's a big thing. That's huge. Huge. It's almost 3 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah. The thing that we're tasked with is to see the distortions and to see the lies and the manipulations in society, and to not give it our attention, to not, like we should be speaking about the world that we want to see. So let's do that for a little bit. Let's all of us talk about it and all of us vision it. Let's all of us talk and vision the world that we want to see. So what type of world should we have? I always talk about the way that we're meant to live is in a world where we do not have to pay for anything that is an essential need for living. right? So if all of us that are here all focus, right, all focus our energy on envisioning a world where nobody is homeless, nobody is goes hungry, there's no wars, the distortions and lies and all of that have been removed, so they know the truth of the truth, right? I can't wait till people wake up to religion to the point where they recognize that, yes, there are truths that are within the religion, but that is not the whole truth, nor is it all the truth. There are lies, there are distortions, there are like all kinds of things in every single religion. And us as individuals with logic centers, because we're adults, right? So we haven't fried our brains. If we're looking at a book and it's suggesting that we either harm children, women, or other people who have other belief systems than us, then can we not just agree that's not written by God? Because it never was. All the books were written by man, even if, right? So can we not just say, well, maybe the person that received the information or that was writing it distorted it? Like, does that not make the most sense? God didn't write it. Like, we should be able to look at that instead of looking at it and thinking that everything in it, like, why would we not just do that? Right? If my God told me to kill somebody for my salvation, it's not a salvation I would want. And I would look at him and I'd be like, but you're all powerful. Why do I have to do that for you? Like, no, thank you. That's on you. That's on your soul. You want to carry that around that you killed somebody. That's you. That's not me. Right? That's what I would say. Like, you can't weaponize me like that. You're all powerful. You do it. I'll clap you. Go God. Right? You do you boo. I mean, I probably wouldn't even clap it because I mean he's doing something I think is like morally wrong. Right? But that's the thing. Like, yeah. Anyway. Right. It's beautiful here today. Are you getting out and getting some sunshine? Do you have sunshine in your neck of the woods? Do you know what happens when you become very embodied, or when you get into harmony with Mother Gaia, when you start to get in harmony with your environment around you? So yesterday I got up and I was about to take my dog for a walk, and in my mind I was like, oh yes, there's so many that are missing. There's missing like the Book of Enoch. There's the Gospel of Mary. Sorry. There's so many. And every single one of them, the Torah, the Quran, like the Talmud, all of it have had the feminine removed from it, or at least reduced in it drastically, and their images were distorted. Because when you take the divine feminine out, you don't just harm the feminine line, because every one of us have feminine and masculine energy. We are literally, this wonderful spectrum of energy, right? I have a core energy. I have a core frequency, right? Like, and my aligned frequency is my aligned frequency. And it's a combination of masculine and feminine energy. When I'm nurturing and caring, and, when I'm doing those things, when I'm receiving, and, when I'm sitting in my intuition and so on and so forth, I'm embodying my feminine energy. But when I am working and producing and providing, I'm embodying my masculine energy. That doesn't change my sex. I am female. My expression of my sex may be somewhere, like in there, but that's, like, it's the way everybody is. We all have that blend of energies, and we're meant to just embody the energy we need when we're expressing whatever we're doing in whatever way we need to. But it's got all convoluted. So it harms all of us because it harms the men too, because the men are not embracing their feminine side either. So that's why we have what has been dubbed toxic masculinity. But then we also have toxic femininity because we had the feminism movement, which pushed women to become men and think I'm going to be. And so instead of embracing their innate energy and what their core frequency is, they're embracing something that they think that they have to embrace, like snap, boss babe, hustle, drive, go girl, get it, don't need no man, right? And that's not in alignment with their core. Yes, absolutely, priestess, absolutely. It's right there. That's where your soul is in the seat of your heart, right? We've been told by the inversion that it's our brain that is running the show. Our brain is not. There's a huge nervous system that runs between your heart and your brain, and the neurons that go from your heart to your brain to tell it what to do far outnumber the ones from the brain to the heart, because they're not telling the heart what to do. They're just relaying information. The heart, which is sensing on your auric field around you, is sensing, that 9 feet radius around you, potentially at 9 feet. Some of us have smaller radius for sure, but it's reaching out to you. It's beautiful, receiving the energy. So it knows that the person across from you is going to do something to embarrass you. It picks it up in the field. So it sends the signal up to your brain that says, we're going to be embarrassed in, like so many seconds. Do the cascade. And so then the brain goes, okay, flushed cheeks, a little bit of, perspiration is going to happen, sweaty palms, increased heart rate, blah, 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 blah. Right? Yeah. It's all you have to do. Just be you. Be you and embrace your truth. Live as your truth. That's it. Who are you? Remember, who are you? Right? Good times. Now I'm singing. Are you singing? Hi, Davina. How are you? So in January, I have a course that I'm doing. It's a 6-week course. It is called Bridge to Light Phase 2. And this is all about embodiment, embodying your truth, living as who and what you are. It's a really powerful course. Do I have any notes open on it that I can share about what it looks like? I'm sure that I can pull something up though. Let me search my computer to pull out my notes on it. How are you doing, Craig? If I could type, it would take less time. I'm so happy the sun is out. Hi, Terror Bear. Okay, I might have my notes here. Man, I write so many things. Okay, okay. I just have to scroll to the spot that I want to read. It's hard to see. I will say that. It's a bit bright here. I don't even know where my cursor is. All right. So phase 2 is based on these pillars. Right? I love it. So wait, I was talking about harmony, and when you get in harmony, hi Rosalind, when you get in harmony with nature. So one of the things that I don't know how, but I have this ability to track animals, and I've done it. I don't know. I just do it. Maybe it's my indigenous heritage that I have because, like on my dad's side, I'm indigenous. Either way, doesn't matter. It's a thing that I do. So I have 40 acres that I live on in what is really a wildlife sanctuary because it is posted all over. There's no hunting or any trespassing or anything. So I'm the only person that walks on these 40 acres. Well, not unless somebody comes over and I take them for a walk, but you know what I mean. And my dog. So pretty much it's me and my dog that are walking around here. And I see so many animals on the property between foxes and deer and coyote and so many different birds and rabbits and so on and so forth. The other day I was like, I feel like I'm going to see a moose today. Wouldn't that be cool? And it is. I mean, it's definitely better to see a moose from inside your house than to be outside with your dog and come across a moose because, they're big. They're big. I had to teach my American friend how big they were today. They're big. So, and they can be very angry. I think it's funny because not unlike hippos who are vegetarians, they're very violent, and I don't understand that. Like, they're not even going to eat you. They're just going to beat you up. And moose they can be very territorial, and they're dangerous if they run out. Like, they're fast and they flail their long legs and, stuff like that. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But they're a beautiful, beautiful creature, and they definitely have a much more spiritual or symbolic meaning behind them. But anyway, I went out for a walk, and as I went along the back of the property, I saw moose tracks. And so I was following along the moose tracks, and then I found a huge tuft of fur. And then I continued to track it, found a whole bunch of scat. If you don't know what scat is, it's just poop, moose poop. So I was tracking it pretty good. And then I decided, well, if he's injured, I don't want to come across him. If he's sleeping, I don't want to startle him in his sleep or anything either. And, I'm making an assumption that maybe he was hurt because of the fur that I found, but he could have just ran across and hit the barbed fence and, it just pulled some hair out and that's where he dropped it off. Who knows? But anyway, I decided to give up the chase at that point. But today I went hunting again. I went trekking through the wood, following animal paths throughout my acreage with my dog. But that's being in harmony. What I mean is that I had that notion that I was going to see a moose. I didn't see the moose. I sensed him, and that's why I thought I might see him. But what I did see was evidence everywhere of the moose. And so it's just really, really cool that I've become so connected with the property here that I can sense those energies around me. I do believe the fox is going to show up today. He hasn't been around for a couple of days, but he was around 3 times right before. Aw, thank you, Carol. He was around right before we had this really big cold snap where it dropped down to minus 33. So he was around 3 times that day. So I think that I have to take my shawl off. It's getting a little hot in the sun there. He was around 3 times that day, so he was definitely stocking up. That's also how I knew it was going to be a cold snap coming, because of how much he was around there. So Bridge to Light Phase 2 is built on it's built on pillars. The one, Oversoul Conduit, Timeline Navigation, Krystic Nervous System, Voice of Light, Divine Administration, and Embodiment as Architecture. So you are embodying a frequency. This is what we're working towards, right? So that's not the notes that I was looking for. Oh, this is, I don't think this is actually the one that I wanted. Oh, maybe. Almost. I don't know. I keep looking for it, thinking I'm going to find it, but I haven't found it yet, but that's okay. It's all about embodiment anyway. Embodying your truth. Living from alignment. It's a 6-week course. It is. It's very hard to read or to search anything when you're like blinded that much by the sun. I can't really see my computer screen, so it's no wonder I can't find anything. It's just not. Hi, love. Thank you, Carol. I love you. Thank you for the gift. Okay. So Bridge to Light Phase 2 is an embodiment-based transformational program designed to help you move beyond awareness and into lived alignment, embodied alignment. Okay. So Phase 1 was focusing on recognition, and we were doing a lot of healing and clearing. And then Phase 2 is where we step into the actual integration. And in this phase, you're learning how to stabilize the higher awareness in the body, in the nervous system, and your identity and daily choices, so that the insight isn't collapsing under the stress, the emotion, or the old patterns. Because unless we need to stabilize the nervous system, otherwise we're going to go back to the space where our nervous system feels comfortable, which oftentimes was created in dysfunction, chaos, or whatever. So many times you hear people and they're like, I don't understand. Like, I'll start working out and then I quit, right? I do it for like 3 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is, right? And then eventually I quit. Yep, I start eating right, do it for a while, and then I quit, right? And it's because you haven't done the nervous system portions to it so that you can embody that frequency and keep it stabilized, because there's still something that needs to be worked through or released that you're holding on to that's keeping you in that space of your nervous system. So this is not about awakening anymore, right? It is about living what has already been awakened. Right? So Phase 2 is really about the transition from insight into embodiment. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I can see, I can. All right. It is the transition from insight to embodiment, from understanding to application, from intuition to discernment, from healing to integration, from spiritual awareness to grounded self-leadership. You're guided how to anchor the clarity in real life rather than cycling through realizations that never fully land. Okay, so this is where we're done with the circles. We want to be spiraling up, not circling around and around infinitely. So the core focus areas is Oversoul embodiment. You learn how to recognize the difference between intuition, ego reaction, and conditioned survival responses. The focus is not on channeling or abstraction, but on stable inner guidance that can be trusted under pressure. This includes recognizing embodied yes and no signals, distinguishing clarity from emotional charge, learning how truth feels in the body, and developing self-trust that doesn't collapse. Then we're doing ego realignment, or if you put them together, Rego alignment, ego realignment. So this is not treated as something to destroy. We're not out to do ego dissolution or any of that. We are learning, we are taught how to soften our defense patterns, how to reduce reactivity, to interrupt those old identity loops, to retrain the nervous system and allow the ego to support rather than sabotage growth. The result is less inner conflict and more internal coherence. We get nervous system integration, which many people have awareness, but they lack capacity. So this addresses the stress responses that override insight, collapse after expansion, emotional flooding, disassociation or avoidance, fear of visibility or stability. So participants learn how to increase their capacity to hold clarity, responsibility, presence, and change without burnout. Then we get identity stabilization. This phase focuses on who you are becoming, not just what you know. You explore letting go of outdated self-concepts, stabilizing a new sense of self, embodying confidence without force, creating boundaries that feel natural, aligning actions with inner truth. This is where life begins to change externally because the internal identity has shifted. Then we get discernment and truth alignment. This teaches discernment as a lived skill. So recognizing misalignment early, identifying subtle self-betrayal, choosing clarity over familiarity, aligning decisions with long-term truth, living with integrity rather than performance. Discernment becomes calm, not critical. When we're discernment, when it's critical, is judgment, right? We're not judging. That's not what we're here to do. So it's delivered through these live sessions, guided embodiment practices, integration tools, reflective exercises, and practical applications for daily life. It emphasizes the emphasis is on, sure, practice, repetition, and integration, not information overload. So you are encouraged to move slowly, honestly, and sustainably. So this is for people who have done inner work but still feel unstable, who understand a lot but struggle to live it, who feel called to step to greater leadership, who want grounded clarity rather than constant processing, and are ready to take responsibility for embodiment. It is not designed for those seeking quick fixes or spiritual bypassing. So after phase 2, what you're going to experience is greater inner calm, clearer decision-making, reduced emotional reactivity, stronger boundaries, improved trust, alignment between values and actions, and a more stable sense of self. Life begins to feel coherent as opposed to chaotic. So if I was to summarize it in one sentence, the Bridge to Light teaches people how to live their truth consistently, calmly, and sustainably, rather than continually discovering it and losing it again. That's that. Now you know. Holy, I did live for a whole hour and a half, guys. And you guys stuck around with me for the whole time because you guys are awesome, right? I'm just giving you guys the information that I have, my knowledge. I'm just sharing what I know and helping you to remember. And so I appreciate you guys when you stick around and you listen to me and you learn. And for those of you that participated by tapping the screen or putting a like in or a comment, I appreciate you as well, because I don't have an audience without you. You're the audience. So I appreciate you. So thank you. And thank you for the gifts. Thank you for everything. I will be back tomorrow, possibly around 1 o'clock. We'll see. I'm trying to set up an opportunity to meet with one of the shelters in Edmonton to deliver 10 backpacks for whoever's at greatest need right now. And depending on when that gets set up for, it may impact the time of the live. But I'm very, very, very excited and so happy that I can talk about those partnerships that we've got with, a wholesale supplier, with a global charity sponsor, with all of that. Like, it's just been really, really awesome. We're going to be able to help way more people, which is awesome. So if you can donate, or if you're going to donate to Hugs for Homeless, just know that your dollar is going to go even further, because we have a wholesale bulk supplier for homeless supplies. Yay. And if you're a corporation and you want to do team building activities, you can find us on Kit for a Cause in the Edmonton area, and you can do a team building thing, or you can pack kits at your location and ship them to us from anywhere in the world if you want. It's an amazing partnership that we have with a few organizations, and we're looking forward to what this is going to do for Hugs for Homeless. Yay! Super excited. So yeah, I thank everyone for their support in that area, and love you. I'm like, I really need to take a drink. My throat is so dry, guys. I needed a drink. All the snow melted today, which was like on my deck, which was nice. It just got shoveled on Saturday. But that's the way. Love you too. Hi, Justina. I don't know how many of the seeds that are on the floor here are seeds that are edible seeds, but holy, the birds ever leave a lot of seeds on the ground. I don't think I'm going to feed them until, we figure out some of the seeds that are, they can go through the ones that are all over the floor, because there's a lot. It's crazy. But yes, I think I'm off to make some lemon cookies, some homemade lemon cookies, with all the good ingredients that I have in my cupboard. We'll see. I think I have enough to make everything. I think. But either way, I need to go have a snack. And I need to walk my dog before it gets dark. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to take him and go before the sun goes. That's it. Yeah. I don't know why I had to do it with sound effects, but that's me. Oh, I forgot. Shoot. We've got one more thing before I go. Remember, I was going to tell you guys all about the moon placement today. So what the moon placement represents. Did you want to hear it? I mean, if you guys don't want to hear it, I don't have to share it. But if you know your moon sign, just listen up. Okay? So this is Krystic astrology. So again, this is taking the distortion out of the planets, the sign, all of that. So we're not feeding into any of that stuff. And we're also using true sidereal, which means we're looking at the living sky as it actually is, not frozen in time, none of that. How is the sky actually doing? So when we're looking at our horoscope, or when we're doing our natal chart and we're looking at and we're using it to guide us in our day, this is what the moon represents. So do go to masteringthezodiac.com and check out what your true sidereal placements are. You can get it done if you don't know your time of birth. It won't give you your rising sign. You'd have to guess at that. And it would maybe be a little more challenging to do because the rising signs, it goes through the whole day, right? They're changing every couple hours approximately. So the moon is the embodied gate. This is how the soul feels, integrates, and remembers. The moon reveals how the soul feels its way through incarnation. It governs embodiment, emotional memory, instinct, intuition, nervous system response, and the way the inner world processes external experience. Where the sun is your radiance and the rising sign is your interface, the moon is your inner atmosphere, the soft field of your being. So the moon in each sign through true sidereal. And this is how the embodied and emotional self moves through each gate. So moon in Aries processes emotions quickly and intensely, instinctively reacts, is immediate expression and direct emotional truth, needs movement, action, and clarity. Okay. So listen to what you need when you're catching what your moon is. Right? Are you moon in Aries, Carol? No, you're Aries with moon in... No, something's Leo, but rising or something. Okay, next. Okay. So moon in Taurus, stable, calming, embodied emotional flow, feels deeply through the senses, needs comfort, consistency, and grounded environments. Sound right? Moon in Gemini processes emotions through thought, conversation, and curiosity, feels better when expressing, writing, or talking, needs mental stimulation. I think my youngest son is moon in Gemini, and it makes sense. Moon in Cancer, highly intuitive. This is Shauna Lee. If you're still there, I can't see your icon, but if you're still there, love. Highly intuitive, empathic, psychic, emotional body, deep emotional memory and sensitivity, needs safety, nurturing, and emotional depth. Moon in Leo, which happens to be my moon. Moon in Leo, warm, expressive, creative, emotional field. Feels through play, expression, and self-expression, and affection, needs affirmation, joy, and connection. And I do. Yep. Moon in Virgo, emotion is expressed through refinement, analysis, and attention to detail. It's not critical. It processes through organization and improvement. Needs clarity, order, and meaningful service. Moon in Libra, emotion is processed relationally and aesthetically. Feels through harmony, connection, and beauty. Needs balance, fairness, and peace. This is someone who's going to move through their emotions in a beautiful space more easily, but does need that balance, fairness, and peace. Moon in Scorpio, this is deep, intense, penetrating, emotional nature, feels everything profoundly and privately, needs truth, depth, privacy, and emotional transformation. Moon in Ophiuchus. This is an alchemical emotional body. It processes emotion through transformation, healing, and serpent fire awakening within the nervous system. Needs release, authenticity, and multidimensional expression. Moon in Sagittarius. Expansive, optimistic, freedom-oriented, emotional nature. Feels through exploration, learning, and expressive movement. Needs spaciousness, vision, and meaning. Moon in Capricorn, grounded, composed, emotional presence, processes feelings through responsibility, structure, and practicality, needs stability, predictability, and respect. Moon in Aquarius, emotion expressed through insight, detachment, and unique inner vision, processes feelings intellectually or through observation, needs independence, innovation, and space. Moon in Pisces, soft, porous, mystical, emotional nature, processes emotions through intuition, imagination, and spiritual connection, needs gentleness, creativity, and energetic boundaries. So the moon shows you how you feel, remember, and embody life. It governs the nervous system and energetic regulation. The moon changes signs every 2 to 3 days, so it is the cornerstone of the daily triad. The moon plus rising reveals your daily emotional interference. The moon plus the sun reveals how identity is emotionally integrated. So if you look at your rising, mine's Aries, if the moon is in Virgo, how does that influence my emotional, like what is the interface for my emotions for that day, right? I show up ready to go. Now, if the moon is in Virgo, moon in Virgo is asking for refinement. It's asking for attention to details. So this may say that my emotional interface is going to be more detailed oriented today than what it typically is. I may be more refined in my emotional interface because of that. I might even be questioning like how I'm showing up emotionally because Aries is identity, right? So then we have the moon and sun. When you take the moon, which is in Virgo currently until later today, and then the sun, 333, the sun, which is in Ophiuchus. So how do those translate together and you're going to learn how that energy flows. So the moon is the embodied self. Okay, it represents your emotional memory and your instinct and your emotional and your embodiment and nervous system, your inner child and subconscious patterns, your intuition and psychic attunement, and the soul's felt experience of incarnation. It's going to be so awesome teaching the whole thing. I'm looking forward to it. Really, really, really looking forward to teaching Krystic astrology. That'll be March 20th. But the Bridge to Light Phase 2, January 9th. If you sign up before Christmas, so you got 10 days. If you sign up in the next 10 days, you get Bridge to Light Phase 1 absolutely free. So that's basically a 2-for-1, just to say, just so you know. So anyway, pays to sign up early. But again, remember, my site operates on sacred reciprocity. If you find that you want to do anything that I'm offering, but you're not in a position to, to pay the prices that I have, talk to me and see what we can't come up with that would work for the both of us, whether that's payment plans or it's, there's a trade of some sort of some particular thing. Maybe you're a YouTube guru and you can help me repurpose some videos and post some content, and that'll help me. And therefore, energetically, it's giving back, right? That's all that that's being, yeah. So I just realized that the cup wasn't like smooth in there. It has like almost like a ridges or whatever, but yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop off here because I am hungry and I need to walk my dog and the sun is waning. I love you. I will see you guys tomorrow around 1 o'clock in the afternoon Mountain Time, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. I don't know. 4 o'clock Atlantic. Find your time zone. Love you guys. And I'll see you then. If you need something before then, go check out my site. Tons of groups there. Lots of valuable information being shared that you can get for a really inexpensive price. Stuff's being dropped in there all the time. I think you can ask any of the group members. There's so much stuff in there. You know, like there's so much stuff. But anyway, go and check them out. Find one that suits whatever purposes you have. And I will see you back here tomorrow, or go sign up for soul alignment sessions. There's books there. There's mini classes. Oh, me. Go. Speaking of mini classes, I do have 2 that are going this month. One's next Monday, and then the one then Monday after that. I know not everybody wants to do classes, and you know, like December can be a very busy time for a lot of people, but there's also a lot of us who don't really celebrate. You know, we've stepped out of that kind of thing and we're not really celebrating. Or there are those of us that don't do necessarily a lot. So we might be looking for something educational at that time. These are inexpensive in the sense that they're $22.22 Canadian to attend these education sessions. I have them right here, so it makes it easier. So the one for the next Monday, and this will be held at 3:30 Mountain Time. So this one here is how guardians track distortion lines in real time. So this is allowing you to learn real-time methods that will allow you to identify, interpret, and dissolve distortion lines without force or fear. And then the class that I'm teaching for the Krystic Mastery Circle is the divine law of embodied authority. So this one here is teaching you again that how to. Authority is the resonance of someone whose field is aligned, coherent, and unwavering. So embodied authority is what happens when your nervous system, your energy, your body, your words, your actions, and the blueprint of your oversoul move as one unified expression of truth. So that's what's being taught, not this month, not next, like in 2 weeks, 2 weeks on Monday. So give me a second here. 29th. So on the 29th of December. So the 22nd is the first one, the distortion one, and then the 29th is the embodied authority one. So those ones will be listed on the website, and you can check them out. If you don't see them there, or need or have any questions about anything that's on my website, just book a free clarity call or send me an email or message me on any one of the social sites. All my social links are on my website, so you can connect with me on them. But I'm off, so I can go and walk and have something to eat. I love you guys. Mwah. Have a beautiful night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll check into what the planets are doing then, and everything else that we need to do. I'll see you then. Bye, guys. Have a great night.